Today on Unity Motorsports Garage, we're going to talk about the Progression Ignition Distributor. Is it hot or is it hype? We find out. I've had many people asking me to do a video on the Progression Ignition Distributor for quite some time, and since it's back in the truck and I've put a couple hundred miles on it, I thought it would be a good time to do a one-year review, if you will. So let's take a look at how this got started. For most of my viewers, you know about Mixed Up Boss. Ted at Progression Ignition Distributors came through for me when we had Mixed Up Boss on the engine dyno, and we had a total failure of my Mallory Pro Billet Pro Comp distributor. I loved Mallory Ignition products from back in the day, not so much since they were taken over by Brand M. And so when this opportunity came about to try this new distributor, I was pretty excited about it. And let's take a look at that footage from back at the dyno.
No spark, well, of course it's not.
There's nothing coming out here. Okay, so I got the box out of the other box. Looks like we have instructions here, tuner app stuff, and more tuning guides. Now this thing is really cool. Pretty much if you have a smartphone, you can operate this. The days of changing weights and springs in your distributor are over. This here does it all automatically from a Bluetooth capable cell phone, and I can't wait to see what it looks like. So let's take, oh, I got a nice little sticker there. I have to give Ted a huge shout out at Progression Ignition for getting me this thing in such short notice, because he had watched videos of the engine build, and yeah, he wanted to help out. Paperwork and all that other stuff. So let's take a look here. All right. One of the unique features about this is it's pretty much a 4-wire hookup. You got your 12-volt power source. Your orange goes to the negative side of the coil, ground, and this is for tack signal. So, and it actually looks like it comes with a little connector harness. Yeah, it's all weather tight 3-pin connector harness here, where you can just make your connections to the coil and ignition, and we should be up and running. Let's get this thing in the engine. To me, the impressive part was we were able to make over 700 horsepower and right at 600 foot-pounds of torque without the use of a MSD box. That's pretty impressive. So what is the Progression Ignition Distributor? It is something unlike anything else on the market. There are no weights in the distributor for mechanical advance. It has every feature built into it electronically. You control it via your cell phone or your tablet. You can create a custom ignition curve with it and a custom vacuum advance curve as well. It is really high tech, and for me the cool part about it is, I think, is when you go to the Progression Ignition website, they talk about how they source all of the electronic components from the US, and they said in the last 5 years they've never had an electronics failure due to heat. That is huge. So back in May, I actually had to take that distributor out and put my old Mallory back in with a new ignition module. The reason for it is it ate up the distributor gear. Not at the fault of the distributor, because I went through and I measured the distributor gear location. It comes with a melanized steel gear, which should be compatible with everything. So when I talked to the folks at Howard's, I was told that this was a steel core when I bought it. Well, it's not. It's a Sadie cast core, which means it probably should use a cast gear. But so what I did is I bought 2 of these Howard's distributor gears, put one on that one, and that's what's in it right now. So not at the fault of the distributor. That is the only issue that I've had. So moving on, we're going to get into cranking this thing up and showing you how to create a timing curve from scratch. So when you first open the app here, it's going to be searching for your distributor. Okay, so I'm going to crank it up. Now this is really cool. I can go to the active table here, and this is a tune that I put in a while back. The black dot represents live timing. You can see over here it's like 43 degrees. That's your vacuum advance. So if I let off, it goes up to like 35 degrees. This is all in by 3,500 RPM. So that's one aspect of it. Now we can generate a table and put the idle timing, let's say at 25 degrees, and move this up to 30. And we want it all in, say, by 2,800. Okay? I got the maximum vacuum advance set at 15. I really haven't played with this too much yet, but I did get 13 miles to the gallon going to Shadyside on the highway, which is pretty impressive. You do have to change your vacuum from to kPa, just so that you know, from inches of vacuum to kPa. So I've got this. Let's put 24. Now watch this right here. This is crazy. We're going to send it to the distributor, and there it is. It's actually idling at 1340 now because it has so much more timing in it. Really cool stuff. Now we come here. If you do not have a speedometer that's accurate in your car, There you go. It actually has a tach. It tells you how many inches of vacuum you have. Yeah, not much vacuum with this camshaft. There you go. For me, just having that feature alone where you do not have to go in there and change weights and springs to change the curve of the distributor is priceless. I mean, you can do it all on the fly. That is really cool stuff. It has a rev limiter that goes up to 10,000 RPM. Think about that. Some other cool features is it has an anti-theft lockout device to where if you want to make it where no one can steal your vehicle, all you have to do is click lock. Until you go in there and unlock it, your car will not crank. I'm not going to go into the whole tuning deal because there's a whole tuning guide that comes with the distributor, and you really need to read that and have a good understanding of your engine's characteristics before you go making your own timing curves. But it's something that you can play around with, something that is easy to deal with and saves a ton of time. So one of the last things I want to touch on with this distributor is cost. People want to know, how much is this going to cost me? Well, for instance, let's talk about other distributor makes first. If you go buy a brand new MSD Pro Billet distributor ready to run from Summit Racing, it's going to cost you $569. And you still have to change the weights, and the vacuum advance is not adjustable. There's a lot of things there to it. If you try to save a few bucks and go get the regular billet distributor, then you have to get the MSD box to run it. Now, you can buy a Summit Racing version of the ready to run unit. I want to say it's nearly $270. And you know, it's pretty much the same as the MSD, but this distributor here is $569, which is the same cost as the MSD Pro Billet, and it has all of these added features that is non-existent with the MSD unit. You know, being able to change your timing on the fly, store multiple tunes. You can also choose between the color of the cap. You can get red or black. You can get female post, female cap, or HEI male post, you know, depending on what kind of setup you want to run. And the thing that I'm looking forward to the most is the race features. Now, I was supposed to send this distributor back to Ted back in May, and I never got around to it. But since wintertime is here, I'm going to get this thing boxed up and get it back to him so that he can install the race features. The race features give you a launch retard, nitrous retard, and the ability to data log. That is huge, especially since Casper is getting a trans brake and getting nitrous. This takes things to the next level without really having to break the bank and have other boxes in conjunction with the distributor to have those features. So I hope you got something from this video. Until next time, this is Andy from Unity Motorsports Garage. I will catch you later. I got to get back to grinding cylinder heads.